Much welcome, Rebecca Rhodes from GOGLA, and you are a project manager for consumer protection and technology. The floor is yours. You have at least 6 minutes. We will pass on, but it's our own panel discussion anyway for this group, so that is fine. And while we're waiting for also Antoine to join. So, Rebecca.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me on today. Let me just put my presentation on. Just hopefully you can see that. Okay. Okay. So as Simone said, my name is Rebecca Rhodes. I'm the project manager for consumer protection, circularity, and technology at GOGLA. And just so that everybody knows what I'm talking about when I refer to off-grid solar products and the industry and what we do, I just want to show a couple of examples. So on the left of the screen here, you can see the solar lanterns, either with an integrated or an external panel, and the solar home systems, which are can power anything up to from a few lights and phone charger, up to a TV or fan, even a fridge. And so the industry itself is mitigating greenhouse gas emissions and creating, significant positive impact for consumers and
what is not
communities.
Yes, I know. Are all three internet certificates?
And then the typical product lifespan is around 5 years, and a quality verified product must have a warranty of at least 2 years.
What happens if I...
So GOGLA is the global association for the industry, and the industry currently serves more than 420 million people. And we aim to reach 1 billion more by 2030. So GOGLA itself serves and represents more than 200 members. And the members constitute manufacturers and distributors, so the producers themselves, as well as funders, researchers, and other kind of core stakeholders. As part of what we do, we host a circularity working group, and this brings producers together to share best practice, collaborate, and create resources to support the industry to do more in this area. And one of these things in 2014, we adopted an industry opinion on life cycle and recycling. And this was based upon the principles of EPR. So we encourage all of our members to adopt the principles of EPR, regardless of legislation in their operational markets. And this covers everything from design and development, take-back schemes and collection, recycling and processing of end-of-life products, and reduction of hazardous materials. And companies are driven to do this for a few reasons. I've summarized a few here. First of all, the environmental and consumer protection, improved consumer retention, the risk of not doing it, so the brand and PR risk that comes with that, the government regulations, and also investor interest, because we're an impact-driven industry. So investors funding companies in this area really want to invest with responsible businesses. But it's easier said than done. So I've summarized here just some of the challenges of doing so. First of all, in off-grid markets, primarily Africa, also Asia, parts of Asia, there's a lack of recycling infrastructure, which makes it really difficult for companies to actually deal with the e-waste that they can recover. It's expensive for companies. We typically serve low-income consumers, and we want to retain affordability. to ensure that we can retain the impact. So on a lantern that costs around $10 to $15 market price, we estimate that it can cost as much as $1.34 to actually collect, recover and treat that at end of life. So that's a large percentage of the cost of a new product. And there's a distinct lack of consumer awareness about disposal options, and also they attribute a value to the product even at end of life, because this is something that they've spent a lot of their income on. We want to encourage repair and refurbishment, but access to quality spare parts is difficult and expensive. Importation costs are high. And also there's, as a new sector, there's a lot of untested business models, a lot of innovation around second life batteries, repair and refurbishment, but they still needs to be de-risked. And then there's obviously we're operating in an environment of nascent legislation, and this can create an unfair burden if it's not properly implemented or designed on the responsible companies. So I know I'm short of time, so I just I'll pick out a couple of the opportunities and possibilities for the sector and producers in our sector. And one of them is actually we are working with a group of companies in Kenya to establish the first PRO that's tailored to the off-grid solar industry. And then once that's established, we wish to expand to more e-waste fractions to really build the possibilities around economies of scale and support the industry as a whole. As an industry, we serve remote communities, often rural areas. So building a tailor-made PRO is one way that we believe can really help our industry to do what it needs to do to recover as much e-waste as possible. Second of all, we have running innovation challenges to catalyze and de-risk sector-wide action, and working with the industry to develop standards and standardized metrics to enable benchmarking and reporting. I think it was said earlier, you can't measure what you don't know, so this is the first step for us, really. And then finally, we are keen to engage with policymakers to make sure that any e-waste regulations is well designed and it's well implemented as well. And I will stop there, just cognizant of time. Okay. You're on mute.
No, I'm not. Hey, according to this, I'm not.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Can you hear me now? It's bad sound. I'm sorry. We are having we have 3 different internet providers in this room. This was the 4th. All 3 months. Be that Rebecca, you could continue and hear every word of what you said. Thank you for us about GOGLA and do.